Hello and welcome to Trojan Talk. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. My guest today is Diane Orlofsky, here to talk about the Concert Chorale's upcoming performance. Diane, thanks for joining us here today.
Thank you, Aaron. Thanks for having me.
And as always, when we bring you in here, we're talking a little about music, and this time the Concert Chorale, an opportunity for folks to hear some choral music here from students on campus.
That's right.
Tell us a little about this upcoming concert.
The concert is November 4th. It's actually one of the last events of homecoming weekend. So the way we're building it is just stay a little bit over and extend your homecoming. It's at First United Methodist Church this year in downtown Troy at 3 o'clock on Sunday, November 4th.
All right, and so traditionally when you've come here, there's a theme to all of the concerts, to what folks can expect. What can they expect this time?
We've titled this concert Breathing Peace. And not that every piece in it has to do with peace, but it gives kind of an overall flavor of what the audience will come. You know, our world is so chaotic and so divided in so many ways. This is one opportunity to come listen to some very talented singers, really, truly, from their hearts express beautiful poetry. The poetry of Walt Whitman and Sarah Teasdale and Oscar Wilde, and lovingly put to music by these really lovely composers.
And you talk the poetry there, famous poets, they're put to music. Was this hard to locate? Is this something that's out there? I mean,
you know, each one of these programs sort of falls together in a very organic way for me. And as these pieces, as I became aware of them, many of them, one of them is by our friend Eric Barnum, who of course we just came off of the Carnegie Hall experience with him. The poetry sort of lends itself to connecting to other things, and it begins to tell me a story as the conductor and putting together pieces. So it was very obvious to me very quickly that this was going to be the theme.
And I love to ask you this because it's a good response almost all the time, and that's the inspiration, because you always seem to have these moments of inspiration. It's like, this is what I want this to be about. And so what was your inspiration? How did this all come together? You mentioned there finding these pieces, but pieces about peace.
Pieces about peace. On the idea of it actually came to me through a piece that we're doing called Amara, which is a Navajo Indian term for meaning breathing grace. And I thought, what a cool concept, breathing grace. There are no words in this piece. It's a wordless piece. We've never done anything quite like that before, with improvisatory saxophone with us. And so Dr. Camwell, our saxophone instructor, is got this incredible improv going on as we're doing this wordless. And it really does feel, I've talked to the composer, I wrote to him, he wrote me back. He says, I want it almost to be like a choral meditation, and all of you just sort of breathe grace together. And it's been really a fun thing. That's set me down the path, that one piece.
That one piece. You're talking about improv. That sounds like your frequency.
Yeah, it really does.
It sounds like the jazz group, not the concert chorale.
No, but in a very classical way, and it works.
Yes. And then you talk about the poetry to music, and I know that probably is something that might attract some maybe not so traditional music fans, that maybe more of the written word, to hear some of these famous poets put to music. And
I have some wonderful colleagues who are working with me. Dr. Jillian Camwell is doing oboe on a set of Sarah Teasdale poetry called A Breath of Ecstasy, which is just another lovely imagery. Dr. Adam Blackstock is doing percussion on 3 more movements of something called Themes of Life and Love. And the middle movement of that is called Breathing Peace, where we got our title. And then John Ginwright lends his expertise at the keyboard, and we're doing Walt Whitman's Song of Joys, and with just incredible piano parts. So there's just really a lot here, a lot of access, and I write a lot about in the program notes so people can understand what they're hearing.
And learn a little bit while they're enjoying this music. And as always, we talk about the location. And when you do these concerts, a lot of times you find yourself doing these in churches. And the location lends a lot to the performance as well, right? Right,
and the First United Methodist Church, we chose it specifically for its acoustical property and allowing sound to continue to breathe. Even the setting has to be organic. And so just hearing, there's a lot of reverb in that sanctuary, and it will help to just sort of extend what we're trying to do.
All right, well, once again, anyone that's interested in checking out the show, when and where?
It's Sunday, November 4th.
Okay.
It's their last homecoming event.
All right.
3 o'clock, First United Methodist Church.
All right.
And admission, as you know, is
It's free. It's free. You can't complain about free.
Right.
Get a chance to wrap up the homecoming weekend with a little bit of a peaceful melodies.
That's right.
So, well, thanks for joining us here today,
Thanks,
and
Aaron.
good luck with the concert.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us on today's edition of Trojan Talk.